Hello everyone, my name is Jake Anderson and today I will be doing a GitLab introduction. So what is GitLab? GitLab is just a software enterprise tool used for storing and managing software. So what you're looking at here is the MSAT GitLab website. And within the website we have directories, which is just another fancy name for folders, and then repositories which are the entities that actually store the code. So within your folders, you have more repos, and sometimes you'll have folders within folders and so forth. So I'm going to go to the GitLab training repository, or again, repo for short, and walk you through this. So here in the beginning of the README, there's a couple useful resources. We're going to be working in a Linux terminal environment, so if you're not familiar with that, click this article and kind of brush up on or read through this and just understand the basics. And then git commands is here. And again, here's a cheat sheet and you can download it and it'll give you all the basic commands that you will need and how to use those. So if you're confused on certain Linux commands that I'm using during this video, these two resources will tell you everything you need to know. If you don't know C++ that well, or you want to brush up on it, or whatever reason, Dr. Price's website is here. Dr. Price is a retired professor now, but he built a website. This is the introduction to C++ class, also known as I think CS 1570, which is a little different now than when I took it and when I took it, Price had us use this website. However, I'm not sure if they still use it, as they kind of changed up the class and made it easier. But yeah, either way, this is a great resource for either learning C++ or kind of refreshing up on your knowledge. And this last section kind of just tells you how to compile code and then run the executables you made when you compiled it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download Git Bash. Git Bash is a software that allows us to interact with GitLab on our local computers. So when you download that, it will look something like this. And again, this is a Linux environment, so commands like ls and cd to go places are all covered in this article right here. So now that we got Git Bash, we want to set up our SSH key. We're going to skip this step as we don't need a VM unless you're compiling code on a Linux machine. For example, the code for the Raspberry Pis have to be compiled on a Linux machine because the Pis by default have a Linux operating system, where this is a Windows, what I'm using at least is a Windows operating system. But we don't need that right now. So we want to set up an SSH key. A SSH key just allows GitLab to identify your computer or your devices. So if I were to try and clone any repo in here, GitLab would not let you, and you would get an error saying you do not have access rights. The SSH key, again, just allows GitLab to know that we're trying to clone a branch, or really clone a repo, that it's you on your personal device. So your SSH key will be set or connected to your account. So I believe this link is broken right now. Yep. But that link doesn't really matter. You just need to follow these steps. All right, so let me pop up Git Bash again. And we're just going to follow these step by step. So we first want to generate the SSH key. So in Linux environments, Control V doesn't work. So if you have a mouse and the little middle button or the cursor, if you click, that will copy it. Otherwise, you'll have to right click and paste. So I guess Shift Insert works also. So here you just want to type in your email. So I'm going to do mst.edu. At system should work as well. This just, again, connects the SSH key to your account. And it doesn't matter which one you use, or shouldn't at least. So when I click enter, it's going to ask me, do I want to save the key in this default location? That is where we do want to save it. Otherwise, we'll run into issues down the road. However, I already have one set up, so I'm not going to click enter. So you guys will click enter. I'm going to click Control C, and that's that. Now we want to go get that SSH key we generated. So we'll go cd SSH, and you can now see we're in that directory. And I'm going to copy and paste this. And this will open up the SSH key. So you want to copy this full thing and then head back over here to GitLab, go to Preferences. I'm actually going to maximize this. Go to SSH keys and then copy and paste that in there. When I do this, I already have my SSH key set up. So if I click Add Key, it's going to give me a warning saying, it's already been taken, meaning, hey, all that's saying is, hey, I already have this SSH key. I can't connect this to your account because it's already connected. You guys will not receive that warning. And if you do get any warnings or errors, it's most likely because you didn't copy this full thing. If you leave out something like that, or if you don't copy the full thing, you will get warnings. So just make sure you have copied the full thing. All right, let me pop this back up over here. Head back. And now let's clone the repo. So I'm gonna pop this up again. So I want to clone with SSH because that's what we just set up. HTTPS is just another way to set up a device on your account, but we did SSH because it's easier. So I'm going to copy that link, come over here, and actually I'm going to close out of this. And I have a specific directory on my computer where all my repos I've cloned are. This just helps make sure everything's in one place and things don't get too confusing. I'm going to delete this because that's what we're about to clone. So if you right click, come over here, I can open Git Bash here. And then now it shows where I am, right? So OneDrive, school, MSAT, GitLab, so on, right? That's where I'm at right here. OneDrive, school, MSAT, so on. So if I click ls, this will match what I'm looking at here, right? It should, because that's where I opened up Git Bash. And to clone the repo, all you have to do is git clone, and that's not what I want. Git clone, and then that link you copied. If that works. Nope, that's not going to work. The SSH link you copied here will just get pasted right here. Pop this back up. And now I'll be able to clone into it. If you get an error saying you don't have access rights or something about access or rights, it's likely because your SSH key is going to take a couple minutes, sometimes 5 to 10 minutes, to actually be registered and recognized, just with how the GitLab website, auto updates and refreshes everything. So if you got that error, wait 5 or 10 minutes and try it again. If not, you might need to retry setting up your SSH key. You might have, pasted something in wrong. Otherwise, there's no reason why it wouldn't work. So now I can go to the Git training directory, which is actually going to be a repo. Like that. And now there's this little turquoise font called master. So this is actually the branch we're in. So every repo will have a master, or also sometimes called main branch, where all the up-to-date code is. And then in each repo, you have sub branches where you can copy code from the master branch and change things and tweak with things, fix things, add features, whatever you want to do without messing up the main branch. This is beneficial because it allows multiple people to work on the same project or really same repo at the same time without messing up each other's code or butting heads when doing things. And then one last thing to just switch branches. And again, this is in the Git commands resources section, but I'll show it here. To switch branches, it's pretty simple. You just do git check out, and then just check out whatever branch you want. So I think I should have one. Yep, Jake. So I'm going to type in Jake, and now you can see I've switched to Jake's branch. So following this video, I recommend watching the GitLab workflow video. I go into depth on how these repos work and how to properly manage them. So, yep. Thanks for watching.